sure. I don't think a single BGH could take out a Deathwing in its entirety. So that would make at least some of the casual player base happy. The mulligans have started, so let's jump into the game and figure out who's going to be the second top 3 finals. It's going to be Zoo versus the Warrior. Now, Zoo, if you can get off to a good start, can give the Warrior a hard time. Warrior needs kind of the perfect synergy of cards, but they can stabilize it. They have things like the Fiery War Axe to pick up value. They have cool Taskmasters, and even the Korokron Elite, if you're able to pick up something really easily early on. You collect these 2-for-1s, and Zoo eventually runs out of gas.
Yeah, one of the really key cards in this matchup is Fiery War Axe. It helps you not only fend off your opponent's development, but it also helps you develop, and it gets you card advantage. So it costs you some life, but I think it's more than worth the trade-off. And both of these players already starting with what I would consider not optimal hands. I know Alchemixt has got a Fiery War Axe, again, which I think is the most important card, but when you saw him pick up Lotheb and Grommash, he grimaced at the fact that he picked those up. But I think he'll be more than relieved to find out that Tides of Time is passing his turn 1 and not having anything relevant to do. And Tides likely going to be finding himself in a tough spot because his curve is very natural. It's a 2-3-4 instead of a 1-1 and then followed up by a 2 and then followed up by either a Resilient 3 or another 2 and a 1. So this Fiery War Axe is going to be doing a lot of work. And Alchemix picks up 2 more pieces of removal. And I don't know of how much I like Tides' position here. And he picks up another 3-drop. Oh, his hand's gotten really clunky right from the get-go.
Seems like Tides hasn't had the success with Zoo that's intended and designed for this game, or at least for how it's supposed to approach every single aspect of Hearthstone. And that's really unfortunate because the Zoo is supposed to curve out really aggressively, and these minions are the ones that you're kind of pushing into later. When you mulligan, you're supposed to get into these 1-drops. This this flame was supposed to come out way earlier.
Yep.
And now his opponent can use the Cruel Taskmaster to clear it and draw a card and be super effective.
Yeah. He's drawing 2 cards and he's using Slam. So he's going to end up with a 2-2 on the board. Tides' board's going to be cleared, and Alchemix is going to be at 24 HP. This is a really bad spot. I don't see another play other than Cruel Taskmaster here. I mean, this is just too many cards to pick up.
It's cards to pick up which could lead into better plays.
That as well. Oh my gosh, another Fiery War Axe.
Exactly. You don't even have to slam here. So he's got Whirlwind. So this is just way too much, I think.
This is bad news if you're Tides of Time.
Huh. All right. Well, let's see how he kind of responds to this. He does have Lotheb.
I think he's got a Lotheb. This is like one of his only chances to get back in the game. It's either going to force you
directly into the 2-2 and
it forces your opponent to take 5 damage, or it forces them to have another set of plays for it. It's not like a wonderful play by any means, but I think it's the best one he's got.
Okay.
Wow, look at Alchemist very confidently taking the damage as well.
Huh. Not even hesitating whatsoever.
Yep. He wants that Sludge Belcher to stick.
Oh. And talking about clunky hands, another pickup that makes it very awkward.
I think that with the way these draws have panned out, though, that both these players have played it pretty well.
Just unfortunately, Tide's relegated. Yeah, he's relegated just to play this Harvest Golem.
And Alchemix, oh my gosh, a second Armor Smith.
Double Armor Smith, Whirlwind, with things like Korokron Elite to also pick up armor and trade. And he has Grommash to also get closer to finishing the game.
This feels like a Lotheb turn to me, honestly. Oh, is he just going to start pushing for damage? Wow.
It makes sense. He has Grommash. He can actually... Can you Grommash the fall? He can coin it out. I don't think he has lethal the following turn, but if he can kind of pressure into the situation, he might just win straight up.
Yep, he's got 12.
I like it.
I guess he's sitting behind the Sludge Belcher, so he's perfectly safe. I guess now's the turn to start pushing for lethal.
Okay, well, Tides could at least deal with the first iteration of the Sludge using that abusive Sergeant. But man, then Whirlwind gets big value, and oh my gosh. It's just going to be a disaster. Woof, why not? Why not?
Oh my gosh. What on earth I mean, he's got so many different routes he can take, too. Look how much armor he could potentially get.
He could be getting upwards to like 10 to 12 armor this turn if he wants.
I think he's going to slam first.
Sure. Make everything, put it within range to get finished off really easily. The whirlwind just becomes so massive. Wowee.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, he's going for maximum armor. It doesn't even matter what he has at this stage.
Wow, look at this board clear. And look at how much armor he's got. Oh my gosh.
Oh, sweet lord. He's at 29 health.
Yeah. Tides knows
he's at 30 health.
I mean, what can you do versus that? That's just one of those games, man.
Yep. Tides is gonna concede. He realizes there's no point in playing this out.
People were fed up with drawing 3 8-drops or a 7-drop and an 8-drop and a 9-drop. So they've just kind of forgotten about it. But every time I see it perform in a tournament, it's always doing very well.
People write it off. They say it's one of the worst classes now, but I don't think so whatsoever. It's very versatile.
If there's a card that helps it a lot too, it's Sludge Belcher. Because this is the kind of thing it was missing. It was missing like a reliable 5-drop that was a defensive 5-drop. Because it was having to play Azure Drake before, which Azure Drake hasn't been good since 2-mana Unleash the Hounds was a thing. Because you needed a way to follow up on killing a Savannah Highmane. And since that's not so much of a threat anymore, you find yourselves in way different positions with Warrior. It's even got something like Gnomish Inventor. This is very different than the kind of Warrior we were seeing early on.
Gnomish Inventor and Core Chron. I know Gnomish Inventor was being experimented with players like Sho. Sho really liked playing Gnomish Inventors on stream. And it made sense relative to how you're stabilizing everything else. You don't have Azure Drakes, you have Sludge Belchers. So you compensate by taking out you put in the Gnomish Inventors, that way you don't miss out too much on the draw, which is still very core to Warrior. Like, don't be tricked into thinking it could be like Paladin, where Paladin can get away with that because they have late game draw. In this respect, Alchemixt is playing very much along those lines. So Gnomish Inventor improves the consistency of the deck. That's what I like about it.
Okay. Pretty good start here from Tides. He's got an Innervate backup as well. So this is a very strong curve. And this Fiery War Axe is decent, but it certainly could be better. Killing things only to see more tokens made just results in you taking more damage. So if that damage ends up being too much at the end of the game, which it very easily can be, it makes a very big difference. Like, notice right here, the Fiery War Axe almost did nothing this game. It's like the same style board impact has happened on both ends. And where does he go from here?
To kind of well, yeah, at this stage, because everything that removes is being really annoyed. If you cool Taskmasters, and he kind of uses his weapon, it just also goes to show the power and versatility of a Harvest Golem. It just that's a card that doesn't need much introduction because a lot of people have seen it, but just to kind of show again, in case of why it's so powerful, it just soaked up Fiery War Axe, one of Warrior's best cards, and just kind of made it look like a fool. Like a fool!
I knew Harvey
I'm not that passionate about Fiery War Axe, but, I kind of got an emotional reaction sometimes.
Well, here's Harvey number 2. The value this town needs. And Alchemist, this is adding up to a lot of damage. We're just going through the stages of the game, and Alchemist has incidentally taken 8 points of damage.
Well, it definitely wasn't by accident, but it definitely has worked out that way. Yeah. Oh,
incidental damage, not accident. Yeah, incidental damage. And this is a spot where the Sylvanas can matter a lot because now these death rattles trigger differently. So under the old ways this worked, it could have mattered. So under the old ways this worked, it's just a good spot to point out. Under the old way this worked, if Harvest Golem attacked into this Sylvanas to deliver the killing blow, Sylvanas would have checked and taken nothing, and then he would have gotten a 2/1 token. But under the way that the new death rattles work, everything goes in order. So if this Harvest Golem runs into the Sylvanas to kill it, Harvest Golem's death rattle is going to happen first because it came into play first.
And it would
then there's going to be a 2/1 on the board, and then Sylvanas will take a minion afterwards.
Makes total sense. All right. Well, Alchemist is going to respond by just dropping big things and hopefully continue to weather storm and outvalue its opponents. But we all know that Tide still has that Innervate. So he can do some pretty crazy stuff. Ooh. If he drew like Savage Roar off... Oh, never mind. I thought he was going to Wrath for 1, but... okay,
Yep.
so he Wraths for
Wow.
3, choosing
How
the
much
Druid of the
damage
Claw
this
as
is.
well. Ha! Still gross.
Well,
Still gross.
Alchemixt, you're in a bit of a pickle now.
He does have Shield Block. You draw into Shield Slam, that'd be great.
Ooh, 1 mana off from that.
Maybe you Armor Smith, trade, and then try to just be as passive as possible.
Gosh.
You go up to 14 life.
This means he's going to be using Cruel Taskmaster instead, I think. If he decides to attack first.
Either way, the damage equals about the same, I think. It's just whether or not you're taking off a threat off the board.
Oh, he is going to use Cruel
Sure.
Taskmaster anyway.
It's
Okay.
about the same about the health. It's just that
Yep.
you take away a Savage Roar possibility.
10. So Tides is 3 damage off lethal right now. Oh my.
Loteb is nice. Prevent a lot of removal.
6, 12. So he's 1 mana short of being able to use Force of Nature and Black Knight next turn also. And that Armor Smith actually doing a pretty significant amount of work right now.
Kind of just undoes the damage at the turn if you kind of be able to panic correctly. Huh. Well,
I feel like
he's pushing
yeah.
in for damage. I think pushing in for damage is the right thing because you still can
agree.
just top deck Savage Roar and push for the damage. He already used 1 shield block. He still has to have a second one.
Swipe can also make a difference.
Does taking out this Cairn set you up any better for the following turns? All
I don't
right,
think
he's
so.
going for it.
You don't want a 4-1 counterattacking. That's for sure what you don't want. So that's what he's weighing right now is how much worse is it for his recovery if his oh geez. That could
Nice.
potentially be a huge draw right now.
You shut down your opponent's ability to combo you out of the game, so the Lotheb timing could be really strong because that gives you the window to play the sludge. And then that just kind of continues to stack, which might make it more and more difficult for Tides to end this game.
Yeah,
I like
that
Lotheb
is-
here. It makes so
yeah,
much
that
sense.
is- that makes all the sense in the world. If there's one window of opportunity for you to climb back into it, this is probably it.
Now, of course, on the opposite side, Tides might just draw something like Ancient of Lore, continue to trade down something that's really effective and improve his board position.
Right.
But still, I think you can't really pass this opportunity up as a warrior player, as a person who holds something like Gromosh in his hand.
He's at 14 now. He's weighing the difference between attacking a minion just to get extra life and attacking his opponent. Tides picks up Druid of the Claw, which is not quite enough yet. Is this another charge? Like, how comfortable do you feel charging at your opponent
Wait.
now?
Let's see.
No, he can't force nature. You remember
No,
he's
no,
under
no.
what,
But if you kind of calculate it out, his opponent might not just have an answer to what he has. Oh, but he just had the Armor Smith. That does allow him to gain health. Because see, if you put him at 8 damage now, and put him down to 7, because he wouldn't be able to full board clear. Okay, never mind. The Armor Smith does keep him in because of the life he gains.
Yep.
That's actually really clutch. And that's forced him to once again pick up the Savage Roar in order to end the game.
Yep. I think you want to continue to ignore the Armor Smith, though. I think you're so committed to your plan of attacking your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
I think you just continue down that road. Like, making a taunt here works against the plan that you're trying to work for.
Okay,
Yep,
well,
I agree.
he's going
As
for
bad
it.
as it feels.
Matt Lotheb doing so much work.
It
with
actually
the
saved
Armor
him from
Smith.
lethal this turn, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it would have been
Saved
lethal.
him.
Tides is thinking about whether he wants to attack this Armor Smith or attack the face, and I think you just go for face. Yep.
I think so. You also disable an immediate shield slam from your opponent. Okay, Sludge
Second
Belcher
Sludge
number
Belcher.
2. Whoa. You draw off the
Oh
slam.
my
see what you
gosh. I don't know if you slam or not, because do you even need to slam?
get. Well, the alternative is just
If he's
doing
gonna slam,
nothing.
he should be slamming first before he does anything else.
Yeah.
So a bit of a I'm not sure any draw changes anything, but a small bit of sequencing error. And now Tides. Oh my gosh, does he have it? So if he makes
I
three
don't think
tokens,
so.
so if he makes the tokens and gave them all +1/+1, now he doesn't have enough to battle through
No.
everything yet.
So he's gonna have to
But
fight it.
he feels I think he feels comfortable going into this turn, but his opponent's got another Sludge Belcher. Oh gosh, I think he's
He's got
just barely
Shield
going to be out of
Slam.
range.
He's got Shield Slam to
Yep.
deal with this, and that's gonna effectively swat down the board once again. And Alchemist is barely staying alive, but the Warriors showing again
Wow.
resilience in all kinds of form of combat.
Yep, and this is how important Sludge Belcher is to this deck too. That extra 1/2 taunt it makes after the Black Knight's presence is it not only is it giving him extra armor because the armor smith's here, but it's also taken away an extra attack. It's just doing everything it needs to do. I think he's considering using an execute here.
Hmm.
I don't think I like it though. There's just no reason to.
I'm trying to think of how it pans out to his opponent's turns if he
Now,
used
here's
Force
another
Average.
question. Do you use your armor up or do you use no wish inventor? I think this is actually pretty important.
Let's see.
And
how
again, if
much
you're going to use the
health-
no wish inventor, you should have played it first, right?
True.
So minor
little bit out of
sequence
order.
effect. Yep. He's starting to. I think he realizes it too.
But in the same respect, you kind of argue that no matter what, he's going to drop the Sludge, and also the
Yep.
Shield Slam was just really cheap removal. So in the
Oh
end,
no!
impact.
Oh no! A second innervate in Tides' hand. That is really unfortunate. That has to be the worst draw in his deck.
I think so.
No-
I think
no
Argent
question
Squire
about it.
would have been way better at least
Yeah.
than Innervate. Could have Power of the Wild did it or something.
Yeah.
Huh.
And a second armor smith from Alchemixt too.
No
This game is
Ancient of
slowly-
Lores.
This game is slowly rolling in the favor of Alchemix now.
How much armor he's going to gain from the Sludge
gosh.
Belcher. Wow.
Oh, that stings.
That was a lot more than 7 health that he gained, let me tell you.
That armor smith has done so much work this game.
And Tides finally kills it off, but it's a little bit late. It's 16 health at the moment for Alchemist. And he also has Armor Smith number 2, raring to go. Put him in, coach.
This is definitely
There's no
going to be
need.
Grommash here.
Yeah. Forgot about the Grommash for a while just because Alchemist has been playing keep away for so
Oh,
long.
gosh.
But has the initiative.
He needs
Now,
big game
Tides-
hunter. I don't even know if he has big game hunter, but he needs
No.
to draw it now if he has it.
He doesn't have an actual way to deal. Oh, he
Oh.
does. Force of
Oh.
Nature number 2 with Power of the Wild.
And that's going to kill all of your potential for lethal as well. Now he has no reach left. He's relying purely on drawing Ancient of Lores to get himself back in this game.
Alright, well, Alchemist, it's not exactly like he's got a way to put him on a big clock.
That is an ugly hand.
Ha. Okay, well, he can definitely play this kind of game, though. Slowly creeping up in health.
Made to fit. He's just swiped
Swipe
over, so-
for Rooney.
Yeah.
Not the best draw. Certainly not the worst.
He
If
needs
you got
Ancient-
like if you got like each Argent Squire, like how bad would that be? Like
needs to Ancient of Lore into Ancient of Lore is what he needs to do. And it needs to happen next turn. Oh gosh, it needs to happen now.
heavy duty. Ysera coming up soon. Power
Oh,
of the Wild
no.
again. Tides of Time, that's looking like it's it. I think he realizes he's gotten pretty bad draws. No Ancient of Lores the entire game.
The grind begins.
Well, the grind's a little bit late. In fact, the grind might end very soon because
12 points
what
of
is that?
damage.
That's 12 points, right?
So after one hero power, there'll be 1 damage.
Oof. Tide's realizing that it's pretty unlikely, and if his opponent draws into anything else, maybe second cool Taskmaster. No, you don't need a nightmare, man. You're so far ahead.
It's just a little off.
Okay. Well, what's it gonna be? I don't really think Tides can pull himself out of here. Double nightmare. I think that's a good summary of Tides' game so far.
Yep.
2 nightmares, back to back, and he's gonna drop 0-2.
Oh,
Well,
and now he draws the oh.
wow. Why not? I think that's a full board. Almost. Closest thing to it.
Tokens are so far behind.
The innkeeper's like, wait, let me count.
It's like grabbing his dice bag and like putting
Yeah.
dice on.
Okay, this is what Alchemist do. He can double Nightmare and shield slam Ysera and she'd still stay alive. I want to see it. Do it. Double Nightmare, shield slam your own Ysera. Come on.
Not today.
Ah.
But a 22 Ysera is something we see. And wow. Alchemixt able to stay alive in this.
Get to see it in all of its glory once again, but we'll find out whether or not Tides can climb back right here, right now. Let's jump to the board and find out what's going on in the opening hands. Web
Wow.
spinner. Love it.
Well, look at this opening hand.
Armor
from
Smiths and
Alchemixt.
Fiery War Axe with the Sludge Belchers.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know if you have to mulligan anything.
I think he's come to the same conclusion. Alchemist kind of just nodded. He's like, not bad.
I mean, I guess the average card's probably better than Sludge Belcher.
Sure. Get something like a Cruel Task or Acolyte might be decent.
Oh my gosh, he's drawn both Unleashes. Tides' bad luck continues to seemingly be the story of this tournament for him so far.
No, he's kind of really bad beats with his Zoo deck all day long. He's not really getting the good draws right back to back to back. And this Armor Smith already kind of just shuts down. Whoa, with the Acolyte, though.
And 2 Armor Smiths.
Well, this is
Tides
a
needs
unique
something
situation.
really good from this web spinner.
An
And,
Iron Owl.
that's
would be really
actually-
useful for the Acolyte.
It's not the worst, but I don't think he's not happy about it right now because he's just giving up the card.
Is this going to be Leok? Oh, it's a
my
Leok.
gosh.
That is devastating because he has the Fiery War Axe as well. Oh my goodness. You know, I was thinking it's a very interesting situation where you don't often get Unleash the Hound's value against the Warrior very much because they're plopping out single threats. But this is a very interesting case where Alchemist will most likely have 3 minions by the time he has to pick up the combo.
Yep.
Huh.
And slowly chipping away now.
The wheels are coming
Yeah.
off.
I think this is a really big advantage to Alchemist right now. He's got 29 HP. He's got board presence. And Timberwolf picked up, though. This could potentially be pretty important.
Yeah,
There's
that allows
one
me
thing
to
he
get
needs-
to it.
Right, he needs reach going into the end of the game, and this is one of the cards that can help provide it should you get to that point. The board presence continues to grow, though, and if this gets too out of control, Alchemist is going to find himself with a lot of armor and with a lot of damage already done to Tides.
Ah, these haunted creepers are just so fragile.
This is not what he needs to draw right now. I mean, do you just have to slam Lotheb here and hope that all goes well?
The Lotheb would just immediately die, and you're kind of back at square one. I think he wants to wait for something like Unleash the Hounds. Maybe that can put him back. But even then, or so not Unleash the Hounds, sorry for Starving Buzzard. But even then, he doesn't even need that many cards. He's got a lot of cards.
Alchemist should actually be attacking here with his Fiery War Axe too. He should just start applying pressure.
Yeah, he's also got Second Axe and Gorehowl, so he's got plenty to spare.
He's got 15 points of just weapon damage, and his opponent's at 23. So all he needs is 8 more points of minion damage. Wow, a web spinner. This is. I don't want to take anything away from Alchemist here. I think he's played this series so far really well, and he's assessed the situations. But boy, you can't hold anything against Tides here. This has just been brutal.
I think it's almost as bad as it gets in almost every respect. His opponent's drew really well into a great curve to get draws. You haven't hit any of your power turns whatsoever. There's no Kodos, there's no Savannah Highmanes, there's no Hound Masters to kind of pair anything together. Your run's just been completely at the mercy of whatever your opponent's been doing to you. I think, wow, It's just very difficult to kind of fight back from this position. Still
It
not
is-
over yet, but it's still
Right.
very difficult.
This is also a benefit of playing a deck like Warrior, though, is when your opponent stumbles, Warrior really punishes you for that. It's got because once you get to this point, like are you gonna out big card Warrior? This is like what their deck does is play giant big cards after they've stabilized the board. So if you manage to stumble, because you are going to stumble sometimes, that's just the nature of playing cards. You're not always going to get your perfect curve and the draw you want. So when that happens, you find yourself in these positions where Warriors it crushes you. This is what it's meant to do.
All right, well, Alchemixt picks up an undead ghoul. So another way to kind of answer what his opponent has very effectively. I like it. It's very clean. Once more, Alchemixt picking up the exact response he needs.
This has got to be Cruel Taskmaster on the spider, right? Wait, what the heck? Oh, he's just gonna.
Yeah,
That's sort of weird.
lets it just. I guess you just let it die.
Oh,
anyways.
that death rattle's gonna happen first, right?
Yep.
Death rattle.
Yep.
Sure.
So just let it kill itself.
Yep.
See, Tides also playing Direwolf out, so lots of these low drops.
Yeah, he needed a buzzard here, I think, to stay in this game. Hunter's Mark's not too bad though. It is gonna take out this. I don't know if that's enough to climb back into it. Let me ask you this: is he supposed to play the web spinner just to try to get the right minion?
Yeah, you're too far behind on the board. You need to draw something nice. And if you get a Savannah High main, I think you're feeling pretty good. At least, in terms of being able to potentially climb back. I don't know.
Yep.
I think you do have to play the web spinner here. But it's also tempting the fate gods. I don't know how comfortable you feel in your own RNG.
This is actually pretty good too. This is probably better now that I look at it. I think your board state ends up to be a little bit better. It also his sequencing on the minion attacks ended up not mattering there because the unstable ghoul is going to pick off the 2 extra tokens regardless. So all that matters is the attack on the unstable ghoul being from the weapon to be the killing blow. And look at this. This Lothab's going to shut out the possibility of an Unleash the Hounds. And that may be checkmate.
Yeah, because you need a full 10 mana in order to pull off the Unleashed combo now with Buzzard. And so even if Tides top decks it... Nope, but he gets a Stone Tusk Boar. And now I'm also left with the mystery of what that web spinner would have been. Now this is the big tragedy of the entire game.
It's going to eat at you the whole tournament.
I just need to know. Alchemist, please. You have lethal. Just let me see what it's going to be. No, he's not going to do that. He didn't even Shield Slam his own Ysera.
Yep.
Guy goes for maximum disrespect.
Didn't even Shield Slam his own Ysera. 3-0 over to Alchemist. Well played on the back of a Control Warrior deck. And